I've always wondered, how hard is it to learn 3D modeling from scratch, especially if you want to make something as detailed as a D&D miniature? Today, I'm diving headfirst into Blender, a software best known for being a little intimidating for beginners. In this video, I'm documenting my entire experience, the good, the bad, and everything in between. And like many beginners, I'm starting with the donut tutorial. Let's see how this goes. Now that I've got the basics down, it's time to dive into the main project. I'm planning a D&D campaign set on the high seas, so I want to create a pirate crew, starting with the first mate, a skinny, scrappy half-elf who's seen more than their fair share of battles. My first idea is to make them look agile but tough, someone who could hold their own in a fight, despite not being the largest. I've never created a 3D model of a mini before, so starting from the basics, I'm going to watch a tutorial on how to make a human body and work up from there. Now that I'm done with this model, I've realized that I need a more realistic one. I'm gonna restart this again and hopefully get it right. I'll save you guys the trouble and me a lot of editing time by just skipping to when it's complete. Now that the base model is done, I'm gonna start adding details like clothing and gear on him. Let's start with his shirt. I'm going for a more torn clothing look with a torn shirt and vest. Next, I'll do his pants, which are loose and only being held up by his belt. On his belt, I'll also add a pouch and a scabbard for his cutlass. I quickly finished his body with all this clothing. I added a head from another model that I found. I'm not that confident with sculpting, so I decided to opt for a kit bash approach rather than me sculpting a full head. I did indeed add eyebrows and a scarring and some eyes, just so it kind of fits our aesthetic of this scrawny, tough elf. Next time you'll see him, he'll be fully printed. I'll get him posed up and ready to print. After what felt like a roller coaster of highs and lows, I finally have a model that I'm somewhat happy with. It's not perfect by any means, but I made it. So I'm proud of the progress I've made. Right here you can see that the sword and the dagger broke off, and the scabbard also broke off, which, you know, it sucks, but that's kind of the nature of resin, especially I printed so small. But the real question is it usable for D&D? That obviously is yes. Any miniature, even, you know, a bottle cap is usable for D&D. This is just a nice amenity. So can a complete beginner of Blender create a D&D miniature? My answer is yes. It's a challenge, don't get me wrong. If you're willing to put in the time, watch a lot of tutorials, and accept that your first few models won't be flawless, it's definitely doable. Plus, every step feels like a win, and you learn a ton along the way. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed seeing me struggle through Blender, hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, especially if you have any tips for a beginner like me. I've been the Dungeon Designer, and I'll catch you in the next adventure.